So, welcome to today's deep dive. I'm so excited for this one because I think we've all been there, right?
Oh, absolutely. But when where exactly, though?
Well, just that feeling of being completely overwhelmed. Like every time you open your phone, there's, a new app or some miraculous learning hack.
Right, some 30-day challenge that's going to optimize your entire life.
Exactly. And it feels like the world is just spinning way too fast. Like you can't keep up with all the new technologies.
Yeah, it's a very real modern fatigue. We're constantly bombarded with the new,
So, today we're going to look at the exact opposite of that. We're looking at what does not change.
which is honestly such a refreshing perspective.
It really is. We are pulling from an advanced English practice workbook called One Page a Day. And specifically, we're looking at an excerpt they have about Morgan Housel's concept of same as ever.
Right, the idea that understanding timeless human behavior is essentially a cheat code.
A total cheat code. The mission of our deep dive today is to explore this paradox. Why understanding the unchanging nature of people is so powerful in a world obsessed with rapid change.
And we're not just going to talk about history in the abstract here.
No, definitely not.
Knowledge is only valuable when you actually apply it. So we are going to synthesize these ideas to fundamentally rethink how you, the listener, approach learning.
Yes, especially learning English, or really any difficult skill.
Exactly. Because if you can grasp this, it changes everything about self-improvement.
Okay, so to start, the workbook gives us this incredible story. It is late 2009.
Oh, wow. Right in the thick of the financial crisis.
Exactly. The global economy is just, well, it's completely crippled.
That's the perfect word for it, actually. Crippled.
Yeah, and for anyone learning that word, crippled basically means severely damaged or paralyzed, right?
Right. It means unable to function. The financial system had basically lost its legs.
It really had. So Warren Buffett, one of the most successful investors ever, is driving through his hometown.
In Omaha, Nebraska, right?
Yeah, Omaha. And he's driving with a friend. The text calls him Jim. And they are driving past block after block of empty businesses.
Just total devastation on Main Street.
Yeah, the workbook describes the businesses as boarded up, so doors and windows completely covered with wood.
Which is such a vivid, depressing image.
It is. So Jim is looking out the window at all this, and he asks a question. He asks how the economy can ever bounce back.
Meaning, yeah, how can it recover or become successful again after such a difficult period?
Right, how do we bounce back from this disaster? And Buffett doesn't give him like a macroeconomic lecture.
He doesn't talk about interest rates.
No, he just turns to Jim and asks, do you know what the best-selling candy bar was in 1962?
Which is such a random question in that context.
I know, right? Jim is probably so confused. He says no, and Buffett says Snickers. Then Buffett asks, do you know what the best-selling candy bar is today? And Jim says no again.
And the answer is?
Buffett replies, Snickers. And then this is the best part. There's just total silence in the car.
Man, that silence is heavy. It's profound.
It really hits you, right?
It does. Because you have to unpack what that silence represents. You've got this massive contrast between macro-level panic and micro-level consistency.
What do you mean by micro-level consistency?
Yeah, think about what happened between 1962 and 2009. We had the invention of the internet, smartphones, wild geopolitical shifts.
Oh, right. The systems fluctuated wildly.
Exactly. The economic weather was chaotic. But basic human desire, that micro-level reality of wanting a familiar, comforting chocolate bar.
It stayed completely static. It didn't move an inch.
Exactly. Human nature is static.
But let me push back slightly here, because I can hear someone saying, okay, a candy bar is just sugar and peanuts. Does this really apply to, everything else in life?
That's a fair question.
I like to think of it with an analogy. It's like obsessing over the weather while completely ignoring the foundation of your house.
Oh, I like that.
Right. Because the weather is loud, it's visible, it demands your attention. That's the changing technology.
But the foundation is what actually keeps you safe.
Yeah.
And that foundation is human nature.
Exactly. And this perfectly illustrates the main theme of the workbook. History is full of surprises, but it is also completely full of timeless wisdom.
And to really see that, the text points out that we need to zoom out even further than 1962.
Yes, the time travel thought experiment. This part of the text was mind-blowing to me.
Walk us through it.
So imagine you go 500 years into the past. like the early 1500s, or even 500 years into the future.
Okay, so a massive jump in time.
Huge. If you drop me into the 1500s, the technology, the primitive medicine, the geopolitical borders, all of it would be completely foreign to me.
Even the language dialects would be incredibly difficult to understand.
Yeah, I would be utterly astounded.
Astounded meaning completely surprised or shocked.
Right, my jaw would just be on the floor. I'd be astounded by the environment.
But here's what the text points out. Here are the constants. What would make sense to you as a time traveler?
People.
Exactly. You would watch the people interacting in the town square for maybe 10 minutes,
Yeah.
and you would say, oh, I know these guys. I've seen this before.
Because they're doing the exact same stuff we do.
Yes. They would still be persuaded by risk. They'd be driven by jealousy of their neighbor.
Right, they'd have these strict tribal affiliations, like us versus them.
And they would still be seeking certainty in a world where none exists.
Yeah.
Just trying to find the secret to a happy life.
Which brings up a great word from the text. Short-sightedness.
Oh, that's a crucial concept here.
Yeah, meaning not thinking enough about how an action affects the future. Just looking at the right now.
Exactly.
But isn't it incredibly easy to be short-sighted today? Like, modern technology literally rewards us with instant gratification.
It absolutely does.
Yeah.
And that exact overconfidence, that exact short-sightedness is what makes historical human behavior entirely relatable to us today.
Relatable, meaning we understand it and feel sympathy for it.
Right. It's so relatable because we do the exact same thing. A farmer in the 1500s might eat the seed grain meant for next year because he's hungry today.
And I stay up until 3 a.m. scrolling on my phone when I have a meeting the next morning.
Exactly. The mechanism is different, but the internal biological flaw is identical.
Wow. So the big takeaway here, the thesis of the whole text, is that change captures our attention because it is exciting.
It's flashy.
Yeah. But the behaviors that never change are history's most powerful lessons because they preview our own future.
They do. And once you grasp this meaning, once you truly understand this difficult concept, you can make better sense of your life.
You stop getting so stressed out by the future.
Precisely. You will no longer overlook these simple, boring truths. You stop failing to notice them.
Okay, so let's bring this directly to the listener's immediate reality.
Yeah.
Because the workbook has this great reflection section.
Right, connecting the theory to the practice.
Yeah. How does this tendency, being distracted by the new and overlooking the timeless, how does this actually ruin our attempts to learn new skills?
Well, especially a language like English.
Exactly. We live in an era that is constantly inviting us to buy into the next miraculous solution.
Oh, totally. The modern learner's dilemma.
Right. You feel like you have poor vocabulary or bad comprehension, or you're just not progressing fast enough.
And there's always an ad popping up promising to fix it in 10 days.
Yes. But why is it a trap? Why do these cutting-edge strategies feel so revolutionary at first, but then they just fade into oblivion?
It's because humans naturally search for certainty and quick fixes. We are drawn to the changing, exciting tech because it feels like a shortcut.
I want to bypass the friction.
Exactly. We avoid the friction of actual work.
Mm-hmm.
And the timeless human reality of learning is that it requires friction. It requires effort.
But wait, let me push back on that. Surely having apps and podcasts and digital flashcards is objectively better than staring at some dusty grammar book from the 1800s, right?
Well, yes. Objectively, the tools are better. The tools themselves are not the problem.
Okay, then what is?
The problem is the abandonment of effective, simple strategies in favor of novelty.
Oh, I see.
Learners confuse entertainment with acquisition. The app gives you a little dopamine hit, so you feel like you're learning.
Like when the app plays a happy sound because you matched a picture to a word.
Right. It feels productive, but you aren't actually wrestling with the language. You aren't doing the timeless hard work of retention.
We're basically buying a shiny new GPS and expecting it to drive the car for us.
That's the perfect way to put it.
Okay, so the workbook actually gives us a way to see this in action. It provides these two sets of conversation questions.
Right, an intermediate set and an advanced set.
And we're going to use these to illustrate how a learner's mindset shifts as they progress. This really shows how to use the target vocabulary, too.
Yes, it actively demonstrates expressing these deeper concepts. Let's look at the first scenario.
Okay, scenario A is about reactions to new methods and technology. The intermediate prompt is, why do people look for new solutions? Have you tried a new study method that didn't work for long?
Very straightforward questions.
Yeah, and an intermediate learner might answer that by saying, well, people want fast results. I used a new app, but I got bored after a week.
Which is a perfectly fine functional sentence.
Yeah.
But it's very surface level.
Right. Now, what does the advanced prompt ask?
The advanced prompt asks, why are people so attracted to revolutionary solutions while timeless ideas survive?
Oh, that requires a lot more thought. How would an advanced learner answer that using our vocab?
They would say something like, people suffer from short-sightedness. They are easily persuaded by marketing, completely overlooking the fact that timeless ideas survive because consistency beats novelty.
Wow, that is a massive difference in mindset.
It is. They aren't just talking about getting bored. They are diagnosing the human condition.
Diagnosing the short-sightedness. I love that. Okay, let's do scenario B. This one is about resilience and consistency.
Go ahead with the intermediate prompt.
It asks, have you ever bounced back after failing at something? What habits help fluency?
And the intermediate response.
They might say, yes, I failed a speaking test, but I studied more and I was able to bounce back.
Again, good grammar, but it lacks depth. The advanced prompt is, do you believe consistency is more important than motivation? Is fluency psychological or technical?
That's a huge question, fluency being psychological.
Right. And an advanced learner would elevate the response. They'd say, relying purely on motivation leaves your progress entirely crippled when things get hard.
Oh, using crippled there is great, like your progress is paralyzed.
Exactly. They would continue, to truly grasp fluency, you need to understand it is highly psychological. Consistency is what allows you to bounce back from inevitable plateaus.
That is so powerful. They're realizing that if you wait until you feel motivated, you're dead in the water.
Because motivation is just weather. It changes. Consistency is the foundation.
Okay, last one. Scenario C. Distraction and reflection. The intermediate prompt asks, what distractions hurt your progress? Do modern learners have too many tools?
And the advanced prompt.
How does social media affect attention? How can reflection help someone become advanced?
Notice the stark contrast in these questions.
Yeah. The advanced questions demand an understanding of actual human behavior, like attention spans and reflection, not just the tool itself.
Exactly. An advanced learner recognizes that while modern tech is astounding, it's amazing what it can do the same as ever, human brain still requires deep, uninterrupted focus to retain information.
You can't hack the biological process of making a memory.
You really can't.
So having seen this difference between surface-level thinking and this really advanced comprehension, how does the listener actually apply this today?
That's where we get to the final workbook questions.
Right. The workbook asks the reader, what are you missing today? Do you need more tools or do you need more focus?
You need less noise.
Yeah. Are you living in the moment or are you just constantly getting distracted?
To synthesize this core message, the ideal strategy is really to meet halfway.
Meet halfway between what?
Between timeless wisdom and modern-day solutions. You combine them to accelerate the process.
Okay, let me bring back my GPS analogy from earlier because I think it fits perfectly here.
Let's hear it.
It's like using a state-of-the-art GPS, right? That's your modern technology. It calculates the fastest route, avoids traffic. It's incredibly efficient.
Absolutely.
But realizing that you still have to press the gas pedal, you still have to keep your hands on the wheel every single mile, that is the timeless human effort.
Right. You cannot let the GPS do the driving for you.
You can't just download the language app and expect it to magically speak for you.
And that's my main advice for the listener. The most efficient learning strategies are often the simplest, most boring habits. But they produce powerful, long-term results.
Because they actually align with how the brain works.
Yes. Spaced repetition, deep focus, consistent reading. These aren't flashy, but they are the solid foundation.
So, to wrap up our deep dive today, the main revelation here is pretty clear. In a world that is totally obsessed with what is changing.
Your biggest advantage is understanding what never changes.
Exactly. Whether it's Warren Buffett eating a Snickers bar during a global financial meltdown, or an English learner focusing on daily consistency instead of a gamified app.
Timeless behavior dictates success.
It really does. And we want to leave you, the listener, with a final, somewhat provocative thought to ponder.
Something that builds on this text, but pushes you a little bit further.
Go for it.
Think about the biggest challenge you are facing right now.
Whether that's reaching fluency in English, or maybe advancing your career, or a personal goal.
Right. Look at that challenge and ask yourself, are you secretly waiting for a miraculous, futuristic solution to save you?
Oh, that's a tough question to answer, honestly.
It is. Are you actively ignoring a boring, timeless Snickers bar truth that is sitting right in front of you, just waiting for you to do the work?
Are you endlessly scrolling for a hack when you know you just need to sit down and focus?
Exactly. It's all about choosing clarity over noise.
I love that. Seeking clarity over noise. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It's been a great conversation.
It really has. We encourage you to keep reflecting on this, keep seeking that solid foundation, and take these timeless lessons into your future. We will catch you next time.